Okay, welcome back to Vintage Steel Garage. Today we're going to carry on the Porsche Boxster prep. No, we're not. We're going to carry on the Porsche 911 prep. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the brake lines. Now, the brake lines that run front to rear on the Porsche 911 are a little bit funky. Why did no one tell me I got shit on my head? The brake pipes on the Porsche, or as with a lot of cars, are steel and they will rust, and rust can expend up to 10 times the original metal. Now the brake pipes on the 911, just to get it slightly technical for you, they are 4.7mm diameter, 3/16 if you're into that. The wall thickness is 0.7 mm. They are quite thick. They're thicker than what you think, so you can have rusty brake pipes and be safe. But what you need to do is wire brush them vigorously, get sandpaper on them, run the sandpaper up and down, really work them and stress test them to make sure you're happy and they're not heavily pitted or corroded. And the best thing to do that is then to just run your fingers down them and feel what they are like. So I've cleaned these up already, and I'm going to show you that they're good enough to use, don't need to replace them, which is it's a relief. Obviously when it does come to replace them, the original 911 ones are all pre-bent and they're nice, but not only are they ridiculously expensive, they are going to rust again. So the replacement is basically something called comfort, which is it's a mix of, this looks like one of these magician things, doesn't it, where you're trying to get the hoops out. There we go. Right, okay. So brake pipes are steel, and most manufacturers are steel, and they will rust. So we're only putting off the inevitable today, but as I say, there's a thickness in the pipe there. I'm happy. We can rub some rust eater down the pipe, we can rub a bit of paint down the pipe, and I'm happy they are safe for a little bit longer. However, the time will come, just not now, when I need to replace them. And the replacement is to use comfort. Not copper. You can buy copper, don't use copper, it's too soft. Comfort is copper and nickel, and it's a sort of a it's more of a sort of bronzy coppery colour, whereas compared to copper is very orange. So you can see the difference there. This one's copper, this one's comfort. Obviously two different sizes, but copper can actually be a little bit too soft, and it can, if it's moving, work hard and fatigue. So basically you don't want to be using copper on your car, but use comfort. So here we go, we're underneath the 911 now, and this is something else that I like doing, and you can do it as well, compared to your garage that's just going to not only charge you a fortune for all your work on your Porsche 911, they will just not have the time. So what I've done here is I've taken all the belly plates and everything off the car, every single panel off the car, and I'm working my way through cleaning these. And you can see this side of the car, I have cleaned the floor pan down, and that's the original factory fitting. Sorry, this is the original factory paint under seal, this nice grey. Some belly pans are going to go on in the middle, we'll hide that, I'll show you all when it's finished. And this is compared to this side, that I did clean a little patch there, just there, but the rest of it is not clean and does need a good clean up. There's a little bit of rust I've got to address there. That's copper slip, so it's not as bad. Again, it's not as bad as what it looks. So yeah, all down there needs cleaning, but all this now is nice and clean. And the sad part about this, the only person that's going to see this is me and the MOT man. So these are the brake pipes here. A little bit of focus issue going on. They do look bright orange and a bit angry, but they were proper flared up, and as I say, rust will expand 10 times the original metal, and it will look angry. The thickness of these pipes, as I've said before, is 0.7, so it's pretty thick. You're going to have to feel some sort of wasting down to get to the point of fatiguing. So now I have rubbed these down, and I've rubbed my fingers down them, and I do not feel it wasting away at all. Very little pitting as well, actually, to be honest. And the same up at this bit here. They're okay. Now you will see actually one brake pipe has been replaced already, which is this one here. This one here has been replaced, and this actually looks like it's been replaced in copper. So, and the run of it is slightly questionable. It's the one that goes up over the engine and gearbox, so I'm just going to make sure it's not touching anywhere. It is just touching there at the moment because I've pushed some of the pipes down and I've taken this down to get better access. So I will make sure it's routed correctly, not touching anything I won't wear, but probably when I come to replace these two front pipes in comfort, I will also replace this rear one that goes over the engine and gearbox. It goes all the way up over there, but that's going to be another job. So today I'm going to put some rust treatment on here, let that dry off, put some paint on, and that will be good to go. So we've treated these brake lines now, and you can see they've gone slightly white in parts, and that's just because it's the rust treater on it. So what we're going to do now is just get a little bit of black paint on the pipes, just to put them on a little bit. Okay, so we've painted the brake pipes. We're going to put another coat of paint on the brake pipes. Moving on to the discs now. What we're going to do with the discs, the discs are cross drilled and vented, so I'm going to drill the holes out on them because they're corroded and some of them are quite bunged up and blocked up, so it's going to help the performance. And we're going to fit EBC red brake pads, front and rear. Now I found these to be really good on the Boxster. I haven't had the red type, to be honest, EBC. Of course you get a sticker, so that adds a lot of brake horsepower to the toolbox. These are the pads here. I think these must be the front ones. So they're ceramic, and the reason sorry, you're going to show you. There they are, the ceramic. Now they've got a backing pad on as well to reduce squeal, and they've got like an abrasive breaking in compound on the top. And I like this because normal pads don't have this, and if you've got any undulations or anything, it'll just take several hundred miles to bed in, where this is quite an abrasive top coat which will really dig in to that disc and get it true to the face of this. And I've found that the braking efficiency is phenomenal. It just absolutely transformed the brakes of the Boxster. I didn't do anything else. Before, you'd drive it spirited, you'd brake and you'd be like, whoa, a little bit worried about this. Even a little bit of wee came out one occasion. So upgrade to these. They're not cheap, but they are worth it. So the first interesting observation on the rear of this car is it's got spacers, and these are actually in the spec. These are factory fitted spacers. They're 17mm spacers, using the original wheel studs I should say, and then it has aluminium nuts. Now I must admit these are super light, but I'm not a fan of them. These are the aluminium nuts that go on here. I'm not a fan. I think they pass the best. So I'm going to replace them, and I'm also going to replace these spacers because I think the offset is just a little bit wrong, and it could do to just stick out a little bit further out the arch. Here you can't see because the wheel's off, but it's just a little bit too inset for me, and I just want to bring it a little bit further out. And the reason it's like that from factory with spacers on, because it did surprise me, is that these wheels are intended even for the two-wheel drive, and the two-wheel drive, basically this is called a wide body, the C4s. So these tyres, as ridiculously as wide as they are, and you can see, look, if I put my hand on them there, still not halfway across. These tyres are, what are they? They're 295 30 by 18. So they've got some offset there, but basically they're designed, it's called the Techno wheel. They're designed, usually you get the twist, so it's got this sort of sharp edge here and curved here, and these were an optional accessory that you could buy, but if you bought them for the 4S you had to go with these 17mm spacers as well. But I think these are past the best. It'll be interesting. Let's just get in here now and start poking at this. You can see it's actually crumbling, turning to powder, the aluminium. Look at that there. That's quite worrying, that, really, isn't it? This has basically been repainted, painted the springs, put the new dampers on, painted all the wheel arch, cleaned all the covers. Now another tip which I like, if you have a look here, these screws, these are little torque fittings in the plastic trim. They always look terrible and they rust up pretty quick. So again, I'm going to go around and wherever I come across any of these, I'm going to get a massive bag full of them. I have a little bag full, but I'm going to get a bigger bag, and I'm just going to go around and replace all of these. So we're going to move on to the discs now, and I'm sure someone more technical than me will tell me the reason why, even though there's probably 6 or 7 mil left on these pads, why they actually go off with age. So I'm also going to clean out these holes here, and I bought some drill bits here. So I bought a number of drill bits, 3.5 mil I've bought, and we're just going to run those through the hole just to clean them up. We're not basically trying to enlarge the hole or affect the integrity of the disc. We're just trying to clean the crap out the hole basically. Rotate, drill and rotate, and again we're taking no metal off. We're just simply cleaning out the holes. So these are the front discs. I'm going to replace these pads. So first of all, you need to take this little circlip out there, which will allow this pin to come out. Now I think this pin is probably going to be corroded in. I need a bit of tapping out. But before we get to tapping that out, we're just going to release these pads and get these back. Now again, there's probably a tool you can use to wind them back, but I'm just going to use a pair of grips. And the thing to be mindful of is if someone's topped your brake fluid up, you'll just need to make sure that that doesn't overflow. So what I'm going to do, I don't want to damage this paint here, this powder coating, so I'm just going to put that in there like that, which just sits on the end of there, and then that should just allow me enough to pull this pad back. So that's compressed the two calipers on this side back. I just need to do the same on this side. Now on this one I can just get on the top of there. So there we go, we've slid both sides back now. So I'm happy with that's back. I'm just going to check the brake fluid isn't overflowing all down the front of the car. No, so we're okay with that. Right, so we now need to just drift this pin out, and this will be probably a bit tight. So because I'm not reusing these pads, I'm not too bothered about getting some lubricant on them. Obviously I wouldn't want to do that if I was keeping these pads, because it would contaminate the pads. Now you can see this pin is well and truly stuck in. So let's just leave that for a bit to do its job. Now you'll also see on these pads they've got these balance weights. Well, I think they can balance weight, that's all I can think they are. I'll show you on the new ones, which is a bit easier to see. Basically these weights here. So it's got them top and bottom, where this one is missing, so I don't know what's happened there. Probably can't see that too well. Maybe with a light on it there you can see it a bit better. Not too sure why that's missing. So we've got that pad sliding. We've got this pad sliding. I just need to make sure it's not corroded around there as well. I think it's been a while since these have been out. So I say these are the EBC ceramic pads. So let's see if we can drift this out now. Unfortunately, I just clobbered my... Ah! I've just done what I didn't want to do there and just nicked the caliper, scratched it. Damn! There we go. Now you can see that pin is quite corroded there. Just going to clean that up on the wheel and it'll go back in. You can actually buy new ones of these, but it's £30 a set per axle, so there's another £60 spent. It just starts to rack up really. So I'll clean that pin up and that'll be fine. Once the pin's in, the only function it does is hold the pads in place. So what we can do now is take this off. So this is just a wear indicator strip. So I'm just going to tease this out of here, out of this clip. Being mindful not to stretch the wire in. There we are, so that's out. There we go. Now what you'll find is on some of these pads and the original pads, on the back of the pads here, there are these bonded on to locate it. Now this helps to locate the pad and keep it central when it's in, but where it doesn't help is it means you can't actually pull the pad out this way. You have to take the whole caliper off, push the pads inboard and pull them out, and that gets fraught with these. I've had it on the Boxster where you go to undo these steel bolts here at the back, there and there, and you find that actually it pulls, because it's corroded and it's stuck all the way through, it pulls all, because it's not a blind hole, it goes all the way through, the stud goes all the way through, it's corroded at the back, and as you start to undo it, it just pulls all the thread out and you get a whole world of pain of helicoiling in your hub. So I'm going to try and avoid that. And these are actually off the rear, and these were still in, these weren't on the replacement pads, and I can tell they were because it's even on one of them, it's got the name there in the corner. You can just see some writing of the actual original pad it was bonded to. So these are not needed. So what we're going to do is just get this clip out of the way. There we go. Take that pad out. You see that one's come out. There's nothing on the back of that one. Someone's left the backing strip in there. That's just ridiculous. And this one, it is still stuck on, so what we'll do, we'll just disconnect this pad here. It's just got a little clip for the wear indicator. You just need to tease out there. And you can see the pads They're not that worn actually. There's a crack in that corner there. I'm not sure if I've done that. But they're not that worn, but equally they're not that good. And they're not really a high quality pad anyway. So to get this off, you just need to stick a flatbed screwdriver down here to allow you to unbond it. Right, so that's got it unbonded, so it will pull out now. Again, wear clip off. There we go. We can just now clean up the disc. What we want to do with the disc is clean it all up, all the way around, drill through those holes, take these old backing plates out. Oh yeah, that's proving difficult, great. That one's nearly corroded in. Yeah. We're going to have fun with these. There we go, so that's that one out. As long as I haven't got my head in the way. So there we go. Now this one's being a little bit of an awkward thing, and it's actually managed to corrode itself in. That one's moving, but this one isn't. What I don't want to do is snap it off and leave it in the piston. I got a bigger flat blade screwdriver. This is the most stuck one I've ever had. which is probably a good example, but it's in fear of nearly ripping through. And then I'm going to be into world of pain of taking the caliper off, which I'm desperately trying to avoid. Maybe if I can get it out like this, and instead of pulling on it, rotate it. That might work. No. Looks like it's well and truly stuck in there. It's done what I didn't want it to do. It's pulled off. And now that caliper has a screw sticking out. I am going to take the caliper off on this side, which I sorely do not want to do. So somehow this bit has come off the other pad, pulled through the screw here, and got itself well and truly corroded in. I think I've said it before, but I'm pretty sure this car, I think I've said this before, but this car I think has sat somewhere very damp. Maybe the bottom of the ocean. I don't know. Just going to see if I can get it turning. So even if I take the caliper off, I'm not going to be able to drill in because of the caliper. This needs some thinking time. So I've made some progress on this. What I've managed to do is on the back of these pads here, there's this screw here. Now when I pulled the pad off, this screw was left and it was protruding out the thickness of this. So I managed to flare it up and slowly but surely unscrew it. So the whole screw is out now. So I'm now in a good place that actually in here is the metal boss, which is basically this here. One of these is now in the caliper, so it's, instead of being a hollow caliper, it's solid. and that hole's all the way through. So I pumped it full of oil and I'm going to leave it overnight, because what I've found with years of experience, the best thing to do is to not rush. If you rush, you'll bugger it up and make a right mess of it. So at the moment, just leave it, and what we might be able to do is just tease that out of there. Not sure how yet, but I think of something overnight. Might be able to just tease this out and pull it out of the caliper, holding that in place. If not, I'm at a good point now that this is actually flush with the front face of this caliper, this piston. So it could actually stay in, apart from it's annoying me that it's staying in. There, you can just see that caliper is left in, but it's flush. That sort of locating pin for the brake pad is in the caliper hole. So you can see the lower one's hollow, top one is not, but we're in a good place because it's now actually flush with it. Place, and it will not affect the braking performance, or also affect the how the pad sits in there. So I'm going to leave that side, sleep on it, move on to the other side, see what progress we can make on that side. So I think that'll do for today. Just needed to order some parts. I thought it was going to be a simple video that I show you basically the calipers are the same all the way around. So if I showed you one disc, one caliper, times by 4, that's it. However, obviously Porsche's not playing ball today. Every wheel, well, 3 of them so far, I've had a different issue. The back one wasn't too bad. Stuck pin, obviously it's not the best of ideas. It's the steel pin in an aluminium caliper, so it corrodes and sticks in. The back one wasn't too bad. The front one, we had a problem with that damper on the pad stuck inside the bucket on the piston. I've got the screw out, as you can see, and I think I'm just going to have to leave it in there. It's not going to come out, so I'll put some penetrating oil and see how that goes. I then decided to move on to the other side of the car, and that pin is stuck in. And the pin is stuck in on it. It's basically corroded fully in. I'll just show you, and you can see what I'm on about. So basically that pin there is fully corroded in, and that air with the hole going through it, what I don't want to do is hit it that hard that I break it off, because the red part is aluminium and the pin is steel, which is going to be harder, so I don't want to damage it. So I've decided, I've also managed to get the spring out of there to give me a bit of room. I've decided I'm going to have to cut my losses, cut that pin in half and put a new pin in. Now then, new pin. I thought, you know what, £15–20 for a couple of pins and a spring clip. Oh no, forgot the Porsche tax. Let me show you what you get for £65. Basically, for £65 you get 2 springs, 2 pins and 2 circlips. I think what I'm going to do is end this episode here. There's obviously lots more to come. I'm on the countdown. I think I've got 6 weeks-ish till Le Mans. And it's still in the air, not on its wheels. I've not been for a road trip. I was hoping to do sort of videos on one system at a time and move on, but I'll probably not be able to do that now because I've got parts coming in. I'll work on this, work on that, and again I have a deadline I've got to work to. So please keep watching, plenty more to come, and see you soon. Bye.